This is Jerry Mason, the Kickin Lawyer, and I'm inviting everyone to join us every Tuesday at 5 p.m. on the Kickin Lawyer fan page on Facebook for Law Talk Live, where we discuss business, politics, current events, and the law. If you miss the live version, you can watch the playback on YouTube or listen on your favorite podcast platform. All right, happy Fat Tuesday to everyone. It's Jerry Mason, the Kickin Lawyer, and we are live for another Law Talk. If you haven't already, I want to remind you to make sure you like and follow, subscribe to all our content. We're on several social media platforms, pretty much all of them, and we're also available on iTunes, Spotify, etc. in podcast format, and videos replayed on YouTube. And we're on TikTok. That's Josh's favorite. Josh likes to do the dances on TikTok.
All the dances.
Lots of fun on TikTok. And Wonder Girl, of course, is out. Now their full album is out. The band N.A. All you got to do is go to Spotify or iTunes. You look that band up. They're local guys. It's free. That's the big thing. Free. Just go download the album. I want to thank our longtime sponsor, Michelle Allen with Cry Like Realtor. She is your go-to in the area for buying, selling, renting, leasing real estate. She's also just a really good professional, and be glad to talk to you about anything you got going on in the area. Mason's High Octane Martial Arts, been in Covington since '93. We'll be relocating, hopefully Monday, to a new, bigger, giant facility. Just visit masonsmartialarts.com for more information on that. The Cellar Restaurant Prohibition Bar, it's Tuesday, so I'll be there for trivia after this. It's located off the square in Covington. Great drinks, great food, great fun. Come see us. Opens every day at 4 p.m. That's the Cellar off the square. And, of course, if you need any help with your online social media presence, websites, branding, Josh will help you at Masonite Digital Marketing. Just visit masonitemarketing.com. So it is Fat Tuesday, and joining me as a guest today on Fat Tuesday is Mr. A.G. Howard. Did I get you right?
Bringing the fat for Fat Tuesday. Yeah. Thank you for the
he brought a gift, and I told him I'd wait and open it on the show. So
I had to bring the chaos for you.
So we got that's a popper thing.
It is a explosive streamer, so you can aim it at your brother. Well, you have to read the instructions.
Oh, you got to twist it.
Yeah, it's a confetti cannon.
Open it first?
That I don't know. And please read the legalities before you start popping.
Yeah. I'm just going to point it at
the Kickin Lawyer. Oh, there you go. Now we're talking. Hey, Mazel tov, gentlemen. All right. Oh, there you go. Now we're doing it. Hey, that's what I'm saying. It's Fat Tuesday, baby.
I'm excited now that Josh can clean all this up.
Yeah, I got a big mess I get to clean up. Yeah.
Everywhere we go. Thank you so much, Josh.
We got little poppers too.
And little bitty ones. Yep, there you go. Oh, those are sad. Your big ones were better.
The big ones were cool. They look good.
I think this is the most excitement we've had on the podcast in a while.
Yeah, without alcohol, right? Yeah. And then it's got a bunch of candies in here, too.
And I do know that you're a bourbon aficionado.
Mm-hmm. Well,
but I decided to bring this instead, and I left out the insulin chasers.
Nice.
So you can enjoy all the... hey, look, I can't enjoy the bourbon anymore, nor the cigars.
I got you. I don't smoke. I obviously never smoked anything, but I do enjoy bourbon.
I was told that I used to, and apparently I did the whole cutting thing and the whole 9 yards. Mm-hmm. Although, all that aside, I do have a feeling I'll be darkening the cellar sometime soon coming up.
Sweet. Hey, I'm going to be honest, man. I'm biased, obviously, but it's worth it. Like, we have really good steaks.
Heard wonderful things.
We've got the entrees are good. We have a legit chef. Everything's scratch. We even got a new deal now where our desserts are all scratch. Everything's from scratch. So it's really good. And I'm there like 4 to 5, sometimes 6 nights a week.
Are you signing autographs?
No. Don't get my head bigger than it needs to be. And most people are just there to make fun of me.
Josh is signing autographs there.
That's what's
important.
That's what it is.
Cool. All right, now we're talking. All right.
People don't realize that Josh has an underground following of fans.
I do.
Yeah. You better watch yourself, son. Better get some bodyguards.
A lot of Josh's fans, though, are those furries.
Yes.
Oh, you need to stop. Oh, you need to stop right now.
Josh.
Oh, my gosh. God protect you.
That's right.
You go to the conventions? Have you been to any of those?
Lightly. Tell me about them.
Well, all I was going to tell you.
AG's messing with you. He is a staple of the comic convention.
Did you come to our Covington Comic-Con?
He meant unstable.
Have you been to the Covington Comic-Con?
I have heard a lot about it.
Yeah, so we're meeting on that, I think, this week, right?
Hint. I'm sorry, Josh. What, say it again?
No, so what I was going to say that I don't know what your experience has been with the furries, right? And I'm not knocking furries. So look, if you're a furry, you have a right to be a furry.
That's
whatever.
right. You can have a very good time.
If you want to be a furry,
over there,
it's all good. I just find it a little unique, right? So we were.
Do you mean you sneak up on them, or they sneak up on you?
Exactly. So the first. Was the first Comic-Con last year, Josh?
No, it was the second. We've done 2 of them now.
Did we do them at the same place?
You're a founder. You should know this.
Yeah, forget. It's all running together.
Josh, they will blend. Josh, they will blend on you.
They just
have
that's
mercy on
right.
this
The
guy.
first one we did at the
Liberty Hall.
Okay, so the one that we did at Liberty Hall, the first year, that's why it's running together. We did it. The guy that owned the place is a judge around here, local judge, real nice guy, right?
Yes, sir.
And so he'd never been anything like that. Right. So he didn't even know what it was. Like I remember when we were talking about it, he was like, a lot of people around here didn't know what a comic convention was.
You blindsided them. Oh
yeah, well, I told them, but I don't think they really understood.
No, I had no clue.
So the furries show up. And there's a whole herd of them, and
oh my gosh.
there was probably 8 or 10 of them, and at one point they were sitting against the wall together. And a couple of them had working mouths, like pretty involved costumes,
yes.
right?
Oh no, they're very.
And so Judge Peeler, I shouldn't say his name. The judge involved. He comes over to me and he's like, "Hey Jerry, what are those?"
Yeah.
And I was like,
"Those mascots?"
I said, "Judge Peeler, those are furries." And he was like, "What does that mean?" I was like, "Your Honor, you just need to Google that. You just need to Google that." And I tell him. So anyway, lots of excitement with the furries.
You didn't fill him in. You didn't give him.
Oh no, I have respect for him. I'm not going to be the one to broach that topic with him.
I remember having to actually. There's I've got I don't know many beautiful people that are attached. My very dear friends of mine that are innocent. Just innocent, very talented.
Sure.
Seamstresses and makeup artists that just wide-eyed and just I can't. This is so excited, because the convention brings it's an indoor festival,
sure.
Right? And you have all these people, and for me, you guys are gonna judge me, I know, and it's fine. But
you're
to
a furry?
Me, no,
that's what you're gonna say.
I'm sorry. I hate to disappoint.
Okay.
Wah, wah. Anyway, but I've been approached about building things for them, and I've had to, respectfully decline because their skill sets are so much beyond that of mine.
Really? Well,
okay.
Speaking of that,
anyway, so I will step back from that. So I will tell them, well, let me get you to a more talented person, all right, and I will redirect their attentions elsewhere. And
well, tell everybody what it is you know. I mean, I'm sure you do a lot of things.
Well,
but one of the things that sort of got you with Josh is the special effects stuff.
Again, it was a really good friend who associated us because I remember seeing. Actually, I met Josh. I think just briefly. It was at one of the conventions here. You videoed one of my friends, Alton. We did a God of War cosplay, makeup, if you want to call it that.
I believe I've got the picture of that too. I'm dropping some of these too while
yeah.
you're talking. There it is.
Yeah, but that's not the one you shot though. He shot a video of him. That was amazing.
What are these? He's rolling through these photos.
Yes,
what
sir.
is it? Is this your work?
Yes,
this
sir.
This is all stuff you've done?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's over the years. That's Alton and his daughter Hope, and she's a very wonderful, talented cosplay actress, and that's her dad. And they just got with me, and we developed the whole thing. And that's a shot of from Josh's film, and amazing actor. And there's Zach Pepper, and he gave it his all. Suffering underneath all that latex.
Yeah, it was hot too when we shot there that
yeah,
day.
Yeah. Well, you're a demanding director, but you know what? It pulled off amazing, Josh. You really did a fantastic job.
I appreciate it.
But the people who watch it should appreciate it. That's from one of the conventions we did. Again, that's the actress doing a different kind of suffering under a different kind of makeup, and that's from a fall convention we did where I did Planet of the Apes on a Christy Carnell Warner, and that's Alton being her man servant. So again, just different works. I've been doing this nonsense for a very long time, since I'm going to say 1984, 1985.
Why did you get into it? Was it because of the conventions, or was it movie stuff? Or?
No. This is This is from this was something compelled from youth. My father would watch westerns, and with my brother, and they. You got to forgive me. I lost them both, my mother and father recently.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
Thanks. It left a big deficit in my life because I was with them, taking care of them. And, I was doing this stuff on the side. I wasn't serious about it. It helped me, and at the same time kept me from getting serious in it. So, I was able to lightly do what I did and not worry about being successful. How's that?
Yeah.
And Little Big Man, it was a creation, Dick Smith. It was the makeup that was in there. And as a child, that's what stuck with me. But it was incoherent for me. It was just stuck in there. I watched this movie, and there was the portrayal, a Dustin Hoffman character, and he was 100-something-year-old man. And one of the first complete foam latex baked appliances. And I'd be sitting there staring at it as a child. It didn't really process. I just I realized there was something odd about it. Fast forward, ended up being from where I learned. And my father had no idea what he had done to me. Whereas the other ones, my brother took off to a different direction, and but this was something they had implanted in me. Where my father was a big Western nut, and my brother went off to a historical. He's a big history nut. And I got stuck with the theatrical part, and I, lots of talented people here in Memphis, and anybody successful is no longer in Memphis. They use this as a pivot point, and they launch somewhere else, and. Those which come back quietly, they're still successful elsewhere, but they use this as a home base, smart economically, because you can afford to live here still.
Yeah.
I learned some tutelage under a couple of different artists, and ultimately I turned to the old library books as the internet took off, and I completed an education that I had started under an artist or two, and no harm, no foul. I just had to do it my way, and it's still incomplete, still learning. And I could still dump 20 grand, go to a school, finish off. I'm 55 now. I'm a quintuple heart patient. This young man's work, Josh Mason's, was probably the last work that it would have done me. I mean, what is it? Once I saw my name on the credits, 2019, I had a quintuple. I had a heart failure right after that.
It was because of my movie AG. That's right.
No, that's just it, though. It would have been, a theatrical ending. I mean, honestly, yeah, Josh. Let me tell you something. It was a heart stopper to be able to see the credits like that, because every work I had done before then, I never got appropriate credit. I worked for Lionsgate. They didn't give me appropriate. It was okay, but it wasn't like to be able to see the nameplate and to be able to see that kind of work up on the screen like that. No matter what format.
Your work on the film definitely made that movie. Everybody I talked to that watched our Zelda fan film thinks that Moblin costume is just it's killer, man.
Well, if given another chance in any time in the future, my good sir, I would really love to be able to. Given another chance, I would love to be able to do it where we have a dress rehearsal so I can work out any bugs.
Yeah, I think the only thing you didn't know, AG,
Sir.
when we shot it was I don't think you understood how much action we were going to be doing.
I was so clueless. I went in there so blind.
By the end of it, the costume was starting to kind of come apart, I think, in a few places. That wasn't your fault. That was just
I didn't know this man was such an action fan.
He was, really? That's all he cares about.
He's amazing. No, it was, and it pulled. It was a miracle. It pulled off, but he pulled it off. He pulled it off. What can I say?
Well, one thing that might this may help you tie some things together with Josh. This little insight is that part of the reason Josh and I both, and our brother Justin too, would probably have more appreciation for some of the work you do than a lot of folks is because we literally grew up on 1980s action movies and sci-fi films.
Rock on.
So there's a lot of, that's, we quote them. Like Josh is more late 80s, early 90s. Justin and I were all 80s all the 80s movies. So anything like as you were talking, I was thinking through movies that I grew up also watching that had different prosthetics because I was a child of the 80s.
Kevin Yeager, all the Freddy Krueger stuff. We're looking at.
Well, you got stuff of the Terminator. You got Predator. You got
Alien.
Yeah, Alien. I mean, even Goonies. The Goonies with what was the guy? Sloth.
Sloth. Yes.
Those prosthetics.
See, I follow all those guys now on Instagram, and I tremble. You know when what was it? And I'm going to start failing. I'm on light medication. I like to blame for my failing memory now.
Yeah,
but truth be told, I just forget. But I follow some of these guys, and when their birthdays come up, or something momentous, and like Rick Baker, had a birthday, and I actually, and just for them just to acknowledge with a little like, hey, thanks for the birthday thing. I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, oh, I can't believe, I fanboy hard.
Yeah.
It's like, to me that's. And none of the family get it. They're like, okay, Dad.
Well, I can relate because
like,
there
whatever.
are some lawyers that I look up to, right? There's some lawyers that are like superstars to me.
I'm that way with
that most
filmmakers.
people wouldn't know
I'm with
about
you.
it. And then but unique to me, it's very
Thank you. Yeah,
it's a big deal.
You got the inside edge.
Yeah,
I'm with you. So you get it. But yes, I'm with you on the film for good storytelling. And when it comes to legalities, I was going to say I actually had some strands there for you, and it was rather recent too. But when when the connection for the conventions, what I tried to do was, since I knew early on that I wasn't going to go anywhere with this, and I couldn't stop myself from doing any of it. The mask making, if you look at my early ads, I have masks, makeup, macabre, mayhem. Come to me. Moulage. I was able to do 2 years of physical on-site wound making for T1G, for actual field dressing practice. I was very proud of that.
That's cool.
To be able to help soldiers, real go-getters. I mean, I was like, destroy my work. I was so proud. And they allowed me to shoot a fully automatic. I was like, oh my, that was so great. But the funding ran out. That was years ago, and I was so appreciative of the young lady who got me connected with that. And you don't know,
what do you prefer more, straight up makeup, or do you prefer the prosthetics? Like, what's your preference?
Well, it all ties in. There's no
so it's not like to say one or the other.
I had a class one time, and I had a student ask me, a specificity, to separate, and I couldn't. I had brain damage. I'm like, I'll do a sketch that turns into a painting, that'll turn into a rough model, that'll turn into a makeup, that'll turn into a photograph, that'll turn into a digital retouch, that'll turn into another sketch, that'll turn into a makeup. It just goes around, and it starts. I've done it like 2 or 3 times. It's really, I blend everything.
So the one thing I don't think most people realize about the amount of work you put into the stuff you do, AG, is that, like, we'll just use the Moblin design you did for us. So that face and everything is a custom sculpt you did. So you actually sculpted.
Yeah.
That
I sculpted by hand.
Did all the paint work, everything.
When you summoned me, we had a sit down, and I wanted to get. That was very. You don't know. You're one of the few people which. Yeah, I know it's going to sound like sucking up, but you knew how to communicate with me. And he was able to tell me, we were able to connect. And he was able to tell me what he wanted. And I was able to sketch out and say, is this it? And he went, yes. And I was able to take that one for one, which is really rare, and be able to transcribe it, from 2-dimension to 3-dimension and go, boom, here you go. And I was grateful. It translated really well. So what can I say, Josh? I mean, it just worked really well, and I'd love to be able to do that again, and again and again. To me, when you have something that works like that, I mean, it's just cool. To have a final good work, and it's not that so much, but the final piece. To see it under the lights, to see it in his vision, or the director's vision, under the smoke, under the flares, with the music, to see it come to life for just a second. That's the art. It's like, there you are. The story's been told. The audience sees it and says, "Oh, look at that." That one scene where the spittle sprays.
Oh yeah, so he does. People won't know what we're talking about unless I give them a point of reference.
Well, they need
but-
to go on YouTube and find the movie.
They need to go watch the movie.
Oh,
but
there you go. It's a plug.
In the film, yeah, there you go. But no, in the film, he's referencing. There's a scene where the Moblin sprays like drool and spit like out of its mouth, and so AG actually rigged up a hose through the costume to come out the mouth. And I don't even know what the substance was. You inject it through it, but I mean, it looked really good.
Ancient Chinese secret from an ad way back when. Okay, but no, it was 80s tech. There you go. You know, everything I have nothing new.
Well, it's funny you say that though. I don't like the CGI stuff.
You've got a little bit.
I don't like it. Not yet.
Okay.
I don't think the quality even now.
I'm not talking about Avatar 2, the movie, which is really a cartoon.
I haven't seen it.
Well, you'll enjoy the cartoon if you ever get to it.
I didn't like the first one.
It was a lovely. It was. Have you seen the Smurfs?
Yes.
It's like that, but
I understand. You were making fun of it. I'm not going to see it. No, I'm talking about like. Well, let me ask the question before I make this comment.
Sorry. Yes,
I got a question because
Okay.
my comment will skew your perspective.
Okay.
The question is, and Josh, you can respond to this too. Is there a movie? Well, if you had to pick one movie that you think is a good reference for you of man, this is like the perfect example of, like, what would be. 2 or 3. Give me 2 or 3 that are like top tier, and your professional opinion of really good makeup, prosthetics. Like, what's the best marriage you've seen in film?
I am so damaged. Let's take this. What a wonderful question. You should ask questions for a living. You're such a good.
Really?
Maybe be an interviewer of some sort. Okay, let's take that. And I'm going to answer that in a few minutes because that's what kind of delay I'm on.
I got
That's
you.
the medication
Hey,
talking.
that's all good, brother.
Is it really? Because
I'm gonna go ahead and give you my comment then. My comment was.
I'm in tears inside. I'm like, answer him now.
That's fine. We got time. But my comment was going to be this. And again, maybe it's because I'm a child of the 80s. I really liked the work in like the original Star Wars, where it was wearing prosthetics and stuff. And then when they tried
Rick
to do
Baker's work and among other artists.
when they tried to do the reboot, and of course that was when our CGI was early in late 90s, early 2000s. But even now, I was watching. My wife and I were watching some movie the other night where there was I think it was a bear or something was CGI'd, and the lighting just wasn't right on it. It just wasn't real, Like I would rather have seen a dude in a bear costume than the CGI bear.
You're going to be so ashamed of me because. Both Mr. Masons, Mr. Mason,
Yes,
Mr.
sir,
Mason,
yes,
Mr. Mason, Mr. Mason, Director Mason, Lawyer Mason. My goofy butt's going to go see Cocaine Bear.
Oh, I will too. I'm gonna be one of the first in line to see Cocaine
I
Bear.
won't be first in line. I won't do that.
Yeah, but that's different because
it is.
they're
'Cause,
making fun of
I
it
know.
intentionally. It's the ones that
was
it's
so-
supposed to be serious.
I don't
about.
know. My problem is I was just like, I want popcorn, and I may not go to a theater. I may wait till it goes to the HBO, the rehash thing, just because I'm cheap. But I want something stupid. I want to sit there and I want to see that kind of level of banality of just like, okay, just what?
Well, it's like that. What is the one, Josh, that we watched that come out a couple years ago, where the guy's he's a cop and he knows kung fu.
Oh, Kung Fury.
Kung Fury.
Yeah,
Have
Kung
you seen that one?
Fury's great.
It's the same thing. It's real campy,
He's a
making
cop
fun of
from the future.
on a dinosaur.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
They got another one, something Raptor.
Yeah, they're making a sequel to Kung Fury where Arnold Schwarzenegger is the president of the United States. So it's really him
See,
to play.
Wait, stop! I will watch. You see, and this is not the hierarchy of the effects that you've asked, okay? But I will sit, and I'll get the eye roll from the missus. She will eye roll me hard. She's like, "What is your deal?" I will put on like a campfire, things like that. You need to help me here with the memory. It's a Stallone movie, and it regurgitates. He got frozen, and Taco Bell's the restaurant.
Demolition Man.
I will watch.
Yeah.
I put it on. It's over and over and over. It's a campfire. It's just on. I'm like,
I think it's a good movie.
But,
I like
but
Demolition Man.
but you get what I'm saying.
It's like again. I'm all about all the Arnold movies, all the Sly movies.
Oh, I'll do that with Expendables.
Yeah.
I
watched those too.
All 3 of them. All right, and it just over and over.
You know what show? This is a side note, but what show I started watching again this weekend, and I'm already through like 13 of the episodes. The first season is Smallville. I mean,
The original?
No, the Smallville that come out in
Yes,
90
in the 90s, yeah.
7, 8, something like that.
Right, yeah. The WB.
Yeah, WB.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I started watching that over, and it holds up pretty good.
Yeah.
It's got some makeup and prosthetic work in it. Have you watched? What is the one, Josh? The new one, the new zombie-looking thing that's got
The Last of Us.
The Last. Have you watched that?
You put the fun in fungi with that movie. Yeah. I'm just saying. Yeah. I follow one of the lead artists on Instagram, and so I'm getting all the spoilers.
I think
before
it's
that.
pretty good. The makeup work in that one.
Barry Gower is the artist, and it's amazing. His crew, amazing talent, and the fact that he actually gives credit to his talent base. But again, this is all behind the scene people. They're not supposed to be. They're not the stars.
Well, I think that's the key to their genius, though. Yeah. I think it's an example of the real genius is the audience member doesn't realize they're what they forget, and if they forget, that means that you did a good job.
Suspension of belief.
Yeah.
See, to be able to say I'd be successful, to be able to have something so cool and so good, were Mason Productions. I know I got it wrong. Masonite
Studios.
Mason Studios would be, that to me would be a herald success in the gym. Go, yeah. Look at boom, boom, boom. That's cool. And here's just gonna get dark real quick. That's why you need to cue the whimsical music now. The real hearts. That's why I've been pleading with him to look at horror. Some kind of horrific tale. I've got a few stories. But, he won't give me the time. I call him, I email him, I message, I go, Josh, are you ready now? I'm busy. I understand. And I wait.
One of these days, AG. One of these days, I'll do the horror movie.
See, what I heard there was, one of these days to the moon. That's what I heard.
Yeah. Well, we've had Bronson on talking about horror movies. He's a big horror buff. You may or may not know him, but he goes to a lot of the conventions.
That's cool.
And
is he a writer? Or is he
no, he's more
El Santo Lobo on Facebook. Yeah.
Wow.
Bronson.
Yes, I do know of him.
Okay. Anyway, we talked about when he was on. We talked about a lot of the B level, like old school horror movies.
No.
And but some of them have, for what they are, it's interesting. It's interesting to reflect and watch. Like there's one in particular that we've talked about multiple times on here. And Josh, you need to look up those actors and actresses on there, because they probably would come on this show.
Yeah, because that movie was the only thing.
Yeah, it literally was.
Be careful, because they have and I didn't even know this. They have a convention that comes through.
Yeah,
here.
yeah. No, matter of fact,
You're that close.
The movie I'm about to reference, one of the actresses I think was the guest at one of those shows.
There you go.
Yeah, it's Nightmare Sisters.
Little Rock or something.
The show is Nightmare Sisters, and it's about some demons that. Anyway, I'm not going into what it's about, but it's it
gets twisted
as
quick.
a teen boy. It's a great movie.
Well, there you go. Yeah, okay. All that aside, here's a little partial of the answer from the question previously. Now that I've stretched out, I love all the Krueger movies early on because of the witty writing. Early Yeager effects were amazing, especially for the cutting edge time. But again, I'm a big Kevin Yeager fan from that.
The first one was what, 84?
I couldn't.
I think Nightmare on Elm Street was 84.
And I'm gonna blow this, but the original Alien,
79.
The artist I follow, he ended up making his studio, and they propelled with the sequel, which ended up being more of an action film than anything. It was amazing, and it just went somewhere a different direction. But I'm a big fan of the original writer's vision of it. Also, in addition, I love both. You have the people who are like, I want one way, I want another. I love it all. Because it's science fiction, and you can do whatever you want with it. It's good stuff. As far as horror is concerned, the Evil Dead, that's a fun romp. It's tongue in cheek, kind of. I don't like some of the dark, twisted stuff that it goes into, but again, they have fun with it. I have to come back to again the top three as far as effects are concerned. Yeah, it can get kind of shaky, kind of hairy. I love character makeups
You know,
immensely.
I don't mean
Yeah.
to circle back to my own bias, but
Go ahead.
Star Wars. Did you not like the original Star Wars?
I remember as a child, hearing the hype, and my father was vying for a teaching position, and it was amazing we got any news at all, and my brother and I. And I remember going, oh, what's this all about, right? But it was on, we got the paper, kids are talking, you get the hype, and in the magazines, back covers, and you go to the store, what's this coming up? This guy with some kind of flashy thing, and he's posing with a sexy little girl on the leg, and you're like, what is all this?
Yeah.
And when you saw the movie the first time, nothing like that for our generation, at that moment had been seen. For our generation had been seen. But then when you go back and you see that they had just taken from the past and regurgitated, just like
The
Spielberg.
Kurosawa films.
There you go.
It was all inspired by from
yeah,
Kurosawa.
and
Buck Rogers too, I think.
Buck Rogers, and they had done the Spielbergian stuff with the Indiana Jones. They had taken all those because my father was like over the top bored, just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. But he saw how much we loved it, and and he got into it. And I got to tell you, had they left it just a trilogy, okay, but they jumped the shark.
Oh yeah, they're
They
definitely
jumped the
they're
shark,
bleeding
man.
that thing.
Yeah, oh no, yeah, which is fine.
Well, I was getting more.
Yeah.
I meant more though. Like I agree that it was definitely stolen stuff.
No, not stolen. Forgive me. They were very clever.
Inspired.
Yeah, inspired.
Yeah,
That's a better way to look at it.
merchandising
But
and-
what I was
yeah.
getting at was I thought my perception when I think back, there was so many different aliens and makeup and prosthetics.
They gave work
robots
to
and-
artists. They
Yeah.
gave work to artists, and it was amazing.
Yeah, and they had to add more. If you look at the merchandising, he knew that. I want to say the first one, either Spielberg didn't get a cut. I can't remember if he
mean
did or
Lucas?
didn't. Lucas, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But he made sure every movie had so many, even in the background, so he could make a figure of it and sell it.
But the toy merchandising, all the artists who had to went to go work for them, everything. Just he started, careers for tons of people.
Yeah.
Just
It
amazing.
changed the way movies were made.
Yeah.
That too. No, it was a pretty big deal. But it just for me, it's just personal. And those who know me will go, it sickens me that, and it's not Disney original, but the corporation now has done what they've done. And I first saw it early on in college. They're buying up Comcast. They're merging with ESPN. What is this? Why are they buying all this literature? Why are they into magazines? What's going on here? And no one heard me in college. And here we are. I'm like, anyway, I wrote a paper.
I got you.
Hey, whatever. But
Well, so you seem like you lean more towards the horror genre then.
no, it's cathartic at the time. Now having really experienced horror, now that I've actually tasted real horror, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like I said, it was all about character because the bad guy was always the more interesting. He had the wrinkles, he had the high cheekbone, he had the sour, the nasolabial fold. He had the character expression. He was able to get into the expression has been used. I'm going to end you. You will not see the last of me. It was dramatic. Whereas the good guy was like, I'll save the day. It's like, what are you doing? Oh, well, I like the bad guy. He's more interesting. That's all it was. Or the monster. You watch the old B-rate, you call it B-rate, but the werewolf movies, the Dracula movies, the Thing from Outer Space movies. Jared, you're gonna, for me, you root for the monster, you root for the bad guy. The Thing from Outer Space, Plan 9, whatever. Those things, you went for the intriguing part. You go, what's going to catch your interest? It wasn't the femme fatale. Oh, sure, they're pretty.
Well, I do that even with modern movies. Thanos and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I totally get it.
He bonded with Thanos. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Come on, give me.
I don't know. I'm on the other spectrum from you guys on that. I get there were interesting
Is
villains.
it Cap for you? Is it?
No,
Is it really?
I'm not a Marvel guy. I don't know if you
He's
know
a
this.
DC Superman
I'm a
guy.
Superman guy.
Really?
100%. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and I've had a comic book. Well, he was
Wait. Which Superman?
Christopher Reeves. So,
For real?
yeah, that's who I grew up with. He was Superman in my generation, and so that's who I think was.
Understood.
I
What'd you think of this last incarnation?
I liked him. I
He wasn't bad,
Henry
was he?
Cavill. I thought he did a good
I thought
job.
he was good.
Yeah, he did.
And what'd you think of how they handled him just recently?
Well, here's the way I look at a lot of that stuff. It's kind of like I have several businesses, right? And sometimes I have to make decisions based on but hear me out. Hear me out. I have to make decisions based on the full picture of all the information. And then I'll make that decision, and then other people who don't have the full picture are second guessing my decision.
big.
They're like, oh, whatever, when they don't understand the whole picture, right? So James Gunn did a great job with Guardians of the Galaxy, which is a super like CD level superhero team. Like in the comic books, nobody even cared about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Didn't know about it, right?
Yeah, and then I did because I'm a big comic book nerd, but most
Understood.
people didn't.
No.
So he took that and turned it into this huge franchise. I feel like he can make it successful. However, to answer your question, I did not like the way they've done some of. Yeah, I just found out today that the girl they had that's playing Supergirl in the new Flash movie is already out. Wow. They already said she's not coming back to be Supergirl.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
They're doing a lot of different, discombobulated decision making. But from, again, their personal perspective removed. We are the fans, though. We are the money holders. You see, you're doing business stuff, and you're doing business stuff. You don't give a rat's fanny about the fans. There are no fans.
Yeah.
All right? You don't
care about the client.
Okay,
Yeah.
the client, but they're not going to really. I mean, that's a little different. If you,
Oh no, I agree. It's
if
not
you're
the
putting out
masses.
you're not putting out a product where they're going to go, this Twinkie tastes different.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or like New Coke. Do you remember that?
yes, I
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Oh man. Well, I'm just glad they got Coke Zero right.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I have to live by that.
And Tab. Whatever happened to Tab?
Oh, don't, man. You can put it on my tab.
My Aunt Carol loved Tab. And I want to say our mother did too.
I think it's regional too. I think
is it?
I think it is. I think, again, I'm guessing.
Around here, we don't have Tab
Nope,
anymore.
not around these
It's
parts.
disappeared.
Stop. I didn't know you had a Jack's. I didn't.
It just opened. It's
I
only
know-
been open maybe a year, if that.
Yeah.
We now have, Memphis has Whataburgers now.
Yeah.
And that was a thing that you had to travel to get.
Yeah, you still have to travel and wait in line an hour.
I didn't mean to sidebar us into fast food, but
Why not? Wait, it's Fat Tuesday, man.
that's true. Do you get into all that? Do you celebrate all that stuff?
I'm very Catholic.
Are you? So
Yeah,
that's a
but
big
no,
deal
I
to
don't
you?
celebrate anything.
Okay.
No, it's to me it's pre-Lent.
Okay.
So we get the pre-Lent warm up. Okay.
Yeah.
How sorry can I? How guilty can I be?
Because you have to give up. You have to give something up, right?
Son, I am now a diabetic and a heart patient.
So you're giving it up
I
anyway.
don't have to do anything. I have got like a multiple season pass. You want to see my season pass? I try. I make up for the thing. I pray more. I try to do. But again, very mortal, very failure.
Yeah.
Just trying to survive, son. Just trying to make it through.
What do you think about the Catholic Church being a replacement for pagan religion by bringing in all of the saints? What do you think about that?
Wait, say it again now. Wait,
He was
say it
talking
again.
about.
See, he's telling me
I say it
news.
as a joke. No,
Wait,
I say it as a
okay.
joke because in the beginning he joked about.
Oh,
we
yeah,
were talking
yeah.
about politics,
No,
and,
political
religion, and
political religion, or religious
Oh,
political.
okay, I got you.
Yeah, cool. Yeah,
So
let's do this.
I was just bringing up a hot topic, well, not hot
I love
topic,
that.
but a question on
Oh, no, that's great. Say, no,
Catholicism.
you got to attack the Pope. See, you got to go. So I want to know why Saint Francis was. Pope
Yeah,
Francis.
no,
was-
I don't specifically attack either one. of them.
Okay,
I'm not
that's fine.
Catholic though, so
Yeah, which is hey, nobody's perfect.
Yeah,
And
it's true.
I'm playing. I pulled. He knows I pulled that from a line from a movie. Yeah, that's why he's giggling. Anyway, and yeah, here's the thing. I'm very, very, very messed up right now. He called me in. I was like, what am I going to do? I was sweating bullets.
Why? He's just talking.
I could. You'd think that, but I'm shaky with the memory, and I'm probably in the worst place ever. I mean, just traffic wise.
Oh, yeah.
I let the ads go up. I haven't done anything in a little bit, but again, sometimes it takes a little while.
Well-
you need a little bit of a respite, and
Well,
then you rebuild. Yes, sir.
Speaking of, you were talking. I don't know if you meant it in reference to what you do, but if somebody
do.
wanted to contact you to help them with costumes or movies or whatever they had, do you have a way they can reach out to you,
Well, right now,
or do you do that?
right now, I'm like I said, I'm taking a bit of a. I've taken a bit of a light break, but I have a couple of commissions I'm in the middle of. I've got a werewolf suit I have not forgotten about. I've got
A what suit?
A werewolf suit.
Werewolf suit.
Yeah, that I have not forgotten about. And I know they'll see this, and I want to make sure they understand. Still working on that very lightly, but to make it good. I've got a pyramid head that needs to be finished, needs to be done. Waiting on them to call. But other than that, I've talking to Josh about some things, and I've got one or two other side projects that, I pushed aside, lightly, and I'm trying to deal with estate stuff.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I mean, I understand with your current situation.
Yeah, I've got to clear.
I just wondered if, in the future, if people, because, the internet's forever, so they'll see this forever.
Actually, yeah, which is fine.
Well,
I hope they understand. They can always find me on Facebook. I have more of a presence than I thought. Mm-hmm. In 2016, when I got a cold call from a wedding planner, she goes, "You do effects?" I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, just let me, come and meet me." And I did, and it ended up being D'Angelo Williams' zombie wedding. Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of thing. And when I called the usual suspects to come and help me, these people were supposed to be, we're effects people. I'm like, are you? Well, guess what? And I wasn't going to tell them. I was going to say, you sign on, then I'll share the glory, the money. Every last one of them didn't have time for me. I ended up doing the whole thing by myself. It was a nightmare. And I didn't know if it was legit because there was no money until the very last second. They gave me 48 hours to do over 25 people in 4 hours.
That's crazy.
It was painfully awful. Then, here's your legal part. There was no waiver signed. ESPN decided to, on their own accord, shoot it, air it, not allow me any kind of say of who got to see what, went worldwide, went viral. I walk in my parents' house at the time, and my mom's bedridden. My dad's, he's in a huff. He's like, "You need to go see your mother." Well, yeah, and I kept all this on the down low for years. I went, "Yes, sir." So I go see my mom, and she's a little wrinkled lady, over in the bed. She goes, "Come, sit." She kind of tries to scoot over. The 5 is on. And so I come and sit down. "Yes, ma'am." I'm sitting, "Yes, ma'am." She goes, and she points to the TV. Just as I turn, I look, I see my profile doing the makeup on D'Angelo Williams. And she goes, "Tell me about your zombies." I'm like, oh my God. Busted by my octogenarian mom. Outed. I'm like, oh, okay, I better come clean. So they didn't know I was doing this stuff on the side. I'm like, okay. And my dad comes and goes, you got some explaining to do. I'm like,
well, and look, this is not a knock on you. This is a general comment that I make. I've made it multiple times on here, mostly in the realm of music. My son's a musician. The little ad we do at the beginning with NA, the band, is my son's band, right? And they're actually very good. It's not he's very talented.
What's the genre?
Man, it's hard to describe. It actually has got an 80s sound to it. It's like an
rock?
Alan Stone. I wouldn't call it rock. Oh. And it's not really pop either. It's sort of pop-esque.
Grunge?
Nope, not that for sure. You just have to listen to it. But it's good. It's free. You can download it for free. But what I was going to say is in doing that, and then I helped with this theater here with a bunch of music stuff they did. I book acts for our restaurant every Friday. I have music acts come in. I help them with this guitar shop they've got that's music acts. I'm trying to open a book and record store. It's going to have a recording studio and a stage for music acts. I want this to become kind of like a midtown. Like I want this to be a place people go to see good live music.
I love that.
A good nice arts area.
Yeah,
arts
that's nice.
vibe.
That's nice.
Anyway, in the process of doing that, I've met a lot of people way more talented than me in music. And what I found is it seems the more talented they are, the less business minded they are.
Yeah, right brain, left brain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they're great at what they do, but they don't know how to monetize it.
Oh, no. They have
And so
no idea.
like for you just need a basic little boilerplate contract that outlines this is what it is.
Not just one. I come to find out, and this is a giveaway, and which is fine now. I mean, by this point in the game, it wasn't just that release, because they should have had a standard release.
Yeah.
And I would have signed it blindly. If they just I didn't sign a release.
Well,
I could still go after
studio
but,
musicians. So we went to Nashville and recorded an album, right? My son
sure.
and his group. My partner and I produced it. So we rent a whole studio out. We get studio musicians to come in, and we created forms that they had to sign that releases their work to us forever.
Yeah.
And you can do that. And they knew up front, and you charge the fee appropriately.
What I'm saying to you is that they didn't.
Yeah.
So-
Well, but I'm saying you can too, though. You can even put in there that they have to give you a byline if it's somewhere.
Yeah.
There's a
Well, they
you
didn't
can contract.
they give me any credit. I found out it went worldwide and stupid when I started getting international emails to my email, and the BBC, Page 6, called me on my phone. I'm like, who's this? And it was this pretty little British voice on the phone wanting to find out who I was and what was going on.
Cool.
And you'd think.
Yeah.
But I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for all that. That was the good Lord going, right here, there, numbskull. A big old slap in the back of the head. And there was a multi-page spread. No credit, no name, just all my work, one after. I'm like, well, there you go. I'm like, whatever. Flash in the pan, and then nothing.
I credited you, AG.
God bless you. You're an amazing man. But again, locally, they, some, chum in the water. People got lathered up. I did some shows, and it was fine. Then it started settling down. Like I said, I did work for Lionsgate, which was Tyler Perry and the Medea Boo, right after that. And we had a wonderful music video, very professional, wonderful people. We went to Arkansas. I drug my fantastic daughter as my second to watch my back. And it turned out to be a great experience, very professional. Then right after that was another music video. Not so much so. It went south bad. But I didn't take my daughter. I took somebody else.
Before I forget, because you've said this multiple times about assistants, and I wanted to tell you this. So my daughter, Jade, is the most talented of my children. And I have said that multiple times. Not offense.
Tell me you only have one kid.
I have four.
Oh my God.
No, but listen. Here's why I say that. Oh yeah, I'm very honest with them. The reason I say that is she has the least confidence. My boys will be good, great, and sometimes mediocre at stuff, and you would think they were the best. They're like me, super arrogant, over the top confidence.
I think it's a Mason thing.
My daughter, though, is the opposite. No real confidence on it. Now, she's very artistic. So she uses clay and makes stuff. She paints. She does nails now. Yeah. Does makeup. She likes to play with prosthetics and makeup. She does that like for fun. Well, here's why I say this. So because she's helped on some of the theater stuff as an assistant.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
that's the way to do it.
She's very talented and would love to do this kind of stuff you do if you ever needed her assistance. But what I was going to say also is the second thing I was going to bring up, because I'm curious if you're interested in this. So every year,
Jer, I'm stopping you. Let's talk.
Okay.
All right.
Well, here's the second thing. The second thing is locally they do this Dickens on the Square thing. It's called the Dickens Christmas or whatever, where they all dress up era appropriate. Mm-hmm. Well, the last 3 years I was the Grinch. Now, this last year, I had to get another lawyer friend of mine to replace me because I tore my hamstring off the bone.
Dude.
So I couldn't, literally like a week before, so I couldn't be the Grinch.
Wait, is this some of that fighting stuff that you
I
do?
was doing the splits in Rocky Horror. I was Rocky in Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I was doing the splits in the gold Speedos. And
you did not do
I
that.
did. In the play. Sure did. I had just done the splits, and the problem was, as I was doing the splits, my foot got stuck on the ground. I jumped into the splits, and I pivoted to try to get my foot around the obstacle, and it didn't go, and so the pressure blew my hamstring off my bone.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it hurt really bad. It sucked.
Yeah.
But that wasn't my point. My point was, this year, I was so excited because Jade, we were going to order the prosthetic nose, the pieces for the Grinch face, because the problem I've had the last couple years, I'm real animated, but you can't see my face. It's a mask, but I can't talk to I can talk, but it didn't work. So she was going to try to actually do the full Grinch makeup, right? Which I think through your tutelage, she could probably do, or you or her could do a great job at. So I'm going to try to do it, assuming they let me. I'm going to try to do it again this year, and I'd like to be prosthetic up so it looks the part.
AG can do it. He's got the skill.
I had. Well, you're very kind. I had a guy this last year call me up, and my mom had just gotten out of the hospital, and he was wanting, this whole last minute thing, and I had to pass him off to somebody else, which there's nobody else in the city, which I have those who I have confidence in competency and practice are no longer in the city.
Yeah.
Those which I think could do it under my watchful eye it was really inconvenient, and it wasn't according to his schedule. So it went south hard, quick. There are tricks and techniques. You can actually take. I've tried to show people how to take store-bought masks and turn them into appliances. I've tried to tell people how to sculpt original, and you have no idea. Once you know theater, that's why I was so happy to hear that you got your kid in the theater. Theater 101. Once they know theater, because that's all Dick Smith did. He took theater tricks. Hello, let's go back to Lon Chaney. Just the original.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You take theater tricks and you bring them into film. All right.
She did my makeup for Hulk. So our friend Tara that owns the ice cream place here does a superhero day.
Okay.
And we do an also thing through the local theater, where a business can sponsor a movie that's free to the public. So she sponsored Hulk, the old Hulk, the like two backed up back double feature.
You're talking. Like,
And I
talking about the TV series.
yeah, but they had two movies. They were like TV movies. Anyway, so she had those playing and wanted a Hulk. Well, nobody else. I had a dude at the gym that I thought was going to do it, wouldn't do it. So I did it. I was Hulk. When Jay did my full body makeup, and I looked great. She had me muscles etched in and everything. I looked really good.
All right.
So I was excited about her doing, and I'll be honest with you, this is going to be a side of how I guess it was a selfish reason. But when I did the Hulk twice, and we did practice beforehand, right?
Okay.
And so I had to spend like 3 hours with Jade doing my makeup, and it was great because I got to see her.
That's not a treat.
So I was like, this is wonderful that I got to do different makeup stuff to get my daughter to hang out with me.
It's not funny. It's still one of the reasons. That's why I mentioned bringing my daughter to the one thing, to be able to see your kid.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
That's me.
Are you rummaging because you got other stuff?
Yeah, you don't know.
No?
I'm like Gallagher's worst nightmare. You have no idea. You saw I did the Rip Taylor thing here with the confetti and a whole bit. But yeah.
Hey, there's
Just for
mine.
you. Just for you. You know I dug him out. Just for you. I wanted you to see it firsthand.
He's still around.
And he's in good shape. Yeah. He's in good shape. The only things that aren't in good shape can be made in good shape is the little vinyl vest.
Yeah.
You see, it's not even leather, but anyway, it looks like leather. But that needs to be fixed up, and things like that. The feet need to be dealt with, that kind of stuff.
Now you made this with like is it a couple of pieces or one piece?
Yeah, it's a couple pieces.
And what is that? Is that
it's rubber?
Just rubber.
It's just
so
rubber.
you mold it.
Yeah.
So you molded the whole thing and sketched it out.
I sculpted it,
and then you put it in a cast and make a rubber mask out of it.
So that's
and then painted it.
Yes, sir.
It looks good. It looks like you bought it. I mean, it looks professional. Better than bought, but you know what I mean.
Gee, thanks.
You know what I mean. I can't.
You're awesome. That was
can't
really
tell
funny.
it was
I
made.
love that. Yeah, I love that. No, but that's the whole. And I thank you. And again, coming from a never will be. I appreciate you, and I thank you. And I just wanted to show you. I got other stuff. I got, I got one other thing. I got. Like to me, old. There's an old man.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but again, this
for a second I thought it was like from a kung fu movie.
Wait. Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
This is I turned Christy Cornell Warner. I turned her into Lopan. And I had the wheelchair and the whole. I took my mom's wheelchair. She was like very gracious. She let me borrow it. And I think Zach was the creature. I don't know if I have the head in there. And they ran around. And once I did it, then I let them go and play. And I guess they had fun. I got a picture or two of it. But she's a wonderful victim, volunteer, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
But I got. Oh, here's the other one. But again. It doesn't look as good as it did. It's been a few years.
Well, they look. When I say it's not. I don't mean it as a negative when I say they look store bought.
It's fine.
It's they look very professional.
Well,
I guess from what I'm used to seeing. Well, and again, a lot of the cosplay people are great. They do a great job. But some of the handmade stuff, you can just tell sort of it's handmade.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff's impressive that you can do it. Plus, man, I'm always impressed by people because I can't do that. Like, if I practiced and did it, it would look like, this candle melted. It wouldn't look like that.
That's fine. I can't write a professional waiver, making sure I don't
Well,
end up in
I
court.
think with the school I've paid for.
There's art, and then there's art, and there's art, and then there's art.
Sure,
okay?
sure, I understand.
See, and here's
I've done martial arts my whole life. So I have a ton of respect for people in any art because it's an art too. You know what I mean?
You're not following me.
I am following you.
I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
As a lawyer, I view that as an art form, especially
agree.
after everything I went through.
I agree. agree. Well, that's why I brought up the martial arts. It's
Yeah.
an art. It's different martial art, but it's a way of physical expression. It's art in of itself.
I studied Mudokwan.
Well, Mudokwan's Korean.
Yeah, I went to blue belt, and then I got handed off unprofessionally by 7 black belts. They wanted to make sure I was taught respect. They wanted to make sure I didn't laugh when I sparred anymore because I was having such a good time. I enjoyed it so much. Jer, I enjoyed it so
That's great.
No, it was
What
not.
year did you do that?
Yeah, it was early 80s.
Mudokwan in Memphis?
Yeah.
That would have been
it
a
was
minute ago.
University. It was called.
Okay.
It was called Memphis State at the time.
Was Bill Wallace teaching it?
I don't know.
Who was the instructor?
I couldn't tell you.
Oh.
I'm going to go there. You know, I'm not. Okay, delete.
Yeah, I understand.
But the problem being was this, that it ended poorly, and I still have a love for it. I watch bare knuckle fighting now. I love it. I'm just like
I watch it okay. I still prefer MMA.
it's better than the slap stuff.
I do agree with that. I don't honestly. I got to be honest. I don't get the slap stuff. Like I watch it for the spectacle, but like, really, what is Is there that much skill involved in it?
No.
Like, is it really a sport?
No,
I don't know. And then they get. I don't want to get into it.
Go ahead.
No, I was like, I'm not gonna get into.
Yes, you do.
Well, what I was gonna say was a very sexist comment, so I changed my mind.
oh,
I was gonna
wow.
talk about how they have these
Wait.
lovely women up there.
What's wrong
just
with being sexy?
smacking? Well, I don't consider the dude sexy, so
Ever. But no, exactly.
I don't care if the guys smack themselves,
Well,
which is probably double standard.
Well,
Right?
there's the UFC and MMA, and I do there's a like a
Josh, are you getting feedback?
Yeah, there's a little bit of static coming through. I don't know whose mic. Okay,
There it goes.
Magically went away. So.
All right.
It's my EMP. It's me. You don't know.
Yeah.
I got all kinds of stuff going on. I got one more thing to show you, just to let you know. You know, this is what I meant to say. Say I'll take a 2-dimensional,
Uh-huh.
and I'll take it to 3-dimension. But I try to teach. I'm a talentist. You know, you have. Yeah, I hear it too.
I
think
don't
it is
know
me.
if it's.
It might be his mic. I don't know.
I don't know whose it is.
Forgive.
There.
It might have been mine because I just pushed my.
Okay. It might be your cable. If the
Contact
cable comes a
port.
little loose, it'll
Yeah.
start doing that. So yeah.
Okay.
I don't hear it now.
I'm just gonna stop me.
So did you make that into
course.
a? You got it with you?
No.
Oh.
No, it's a 2-dimension.
Oh, okay.
But you know, I had done the painting. I shot it.
Oh, you did that painting too.
Yeah, I
Well,
did
that's
the-
very talented.
Thanks. But you see what I'm saying. I was trying to show you. I brought all that to represent. You know, for me, it's a circle, and
It's
if
not
you-
one specific piece. It's together.
to get your kid to be able to see to draw is something I've always been trying to teach in all these classes at the conventions. And should they ever invite me back, hint, hint. Okay, starting with Anime Blues Con or MCFC, if they actually call me, or that one with the wonderful water tower silhouette, if they
yeah.
ever call me and say, "We,"
Well, I think we can speak for that.
I know, I don't know.
We can arrange that.
They're, I heard they're amazing, but
Yeah.
if they were to call me and make a deal, because I make deals. You know, I'm a, you know, it's not a.
I'm sure it's something we can work out.
You get what I'm saying? I just
So-
because I want to harness the talent and say, look, if that kid can see and or has the premise, and I was taught to see, I was taught to be able to see. I couldn't. It wasn't a natural thing.
Yeah.
And being able to see, it opened up everything, and I was able to do that shtick as an airbrush artist throughout the 80s. Man, we're talking about, shy of 50 grand cash in 1 year. I pay taxes. The others didn't. I saw them do jail time. Some. Not really.
Well,
Anyway,
since
go
we're talking about jail time, we have the restaurant, the Prohibition Bar, right? That I was telling you about. You said you're going to go
Where's this
to.
going?
Well, it's going to. I'm going to have to go there here in a minute. So you can tell I've enjoyed talking to you because we're working on an hour. But I have to do
Oh.
trivia tonight.
Dun,
So,
dun,
but I
dun.
wanted to give you one last chance to give me the number one movie that you think, in your professional opinion, is the greatest example of kind of like I was talking about, where you're lost in it because it's so authentic looking, so real.
For storytelling, I'm going to say Blade Runner. Final Cut.
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner.
The Final Cut. Is that the new one? Not the new
No.
one, but
Blade Runner is Final Cut. It was basically like the director went
the
back
Harrison
and
Ford
fixed
Final
some
Cut
of the issues.
version.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm saying that, I like the theatrical one because you're able to get lost in the story. If you read Do a Android Stream of Electric Sheep, you'd be captured. You'd be captured. Let me say a few things, please.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm right now involved with Beautiful Leaf Sisters on Etsy. Okay, I'm involved in Ultimate Halloween Guide on Facebook. Both of those allow me, Howard Art Studios on Facebook and on Instagram, to be able to come here and to be able to, offer Josh Mason and Jerry Mason a lot, and or the conventions. And you know how grateful I am for this opportunity. Sincerely, because I'm more on the ropes than I ever wanted to be.
Yeah.
And
Well, you
so-
seem like a nice fella. And if you're not tied
Ditto.
up, you can always come over to the cellar right now, and we'll get you some good bourbon, and you'll forget all your whelms.
You know what? It sounds like an awesome place to go.
Yeah.
But you'll have to forgive me. I got to
Oh,
retreat.
I forgot about the bourbon part. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I know.
there's other ways you can
Oh
forget
no,
things.
I heard that. I heard you guys got cuisine.
Food?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
I told you.
it's not all about the liquor.
Yeah,
But,
no.
but the other. I mean, to be
You,
able
you,
to.
you can go into a food coma for sure if you wanted to.
Oh yeah. Oh no, dude, son. And tonight would be the night.
Yeah, it's gonna be packed tonight.
I know.
No, but
I heard
for
your
real.
I heard your Valentine's was packed
Our
too.
Tuesday nights are super packed because it's trivia night.
Wow.
And I got a text from one of my partners earlier saying that it's the most teams we've ever had booked on a Tuesday night. So I think it's going to be like 16 teams there, and a team is like 7 or 8 people. So it's quite a good. So it's fun. That's what I'm saying. Is it'll be a lot of fun. So
Well, if any of my team is out there, and I know they're all going to be listening, Mandy George from Imagine Time, and any of those guys, I just know that I'm very grateful for all their friendship and the convention nights, and just to have this opportunity to talk with you, to be able to reach out to them, and I'm hoping more new innovative things will happen. I may not be immediately ready to do cosplay stuff immediately,
sure.
but I'm willing to teach and let others be more successful.
Sure.
That's where I am now.
Yeah, well, I think that's a good place to be. It's a good movement forward for you. But you seem like a really nice fellow, man. I've enjoyed talking
You're
with you.
very
Even
kind.
if we didn't get into the political, religious stuff, maybe next time.
Next time, that'd be cool. Do that MMA.
Yeah.
Mentally.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd beat me. I know you would.
Probably not mentally. Well, I do want to thank Mr. A.G. Howard for being on the show this evening. Apparently, he's on Facebook and stuff. You guys want to check out what he's got. And then you said Howard Art Studios?
Yeah, it's all one
Howard
nasty
Art
word.
Studios.
Look for the Harley-looking type logo. It looks like this. It's really. My mom was so ashamed. She was like, "What's with the skull and the wings?" It means something to me. So, it's about intelligent design.
Yeah.
You heard me.
Yeah. Make it memorable.
Yeah.
We know about some intelligent design and branding. And
There you go.
As Josh is rolling through those, remember to like, follow, subscribe to us. We're on all social media platforms, podcast platforms, TikTok. Josh will go to the next lower third because I always forget the order. I was just talking about NA the band. Their album is out now on Spotify and iTunes, wherever you listen to music. It's free. Just go download it. It helps those guys out a lot. Michelle Allen's a longtime sponsor of our show. She's your go-to in the area if you're buying, selling, renting, leasing real estate. She'll also help you just in general if you're new to the area and trying to figure out different stuff. I called her about a hairdresser the other day, so not for me, but anyway, for a client. And then Mason's High Octane Martial Arts in Covington, been open since '93. We are relocating, hopefully Monday, to the biggest place we've been in. It'll be all new, fancy facility, so visit masonsmartialarts.com for more information on that. And as I've talked about a couple of times today, I am going to the cellar as soon as we leave here for trivia night. We have live music every Friday, whiskey Wednesday, wind down Wednesday on Wednesday, ladies night on Thursday. We have Galentine's tomorrow night, so it's going to be a sommelier there, and it'll be a lot of fun.
But tonight's Fat Tuesday.
Tonight is Fat Tuesday. It'll be busy. And then Masonite Digital Marketing. We'll be glad to help you with your online presence. Just holler at Josh, masonitemarketing.com. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your week. Enjoy Fat Tuesday. Hope you have a good President's Day. Safe. If there's anything we can do for you, let us know. Again, thanks to my guest tonight, Mr. A.G. Howard. And
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you
sir.
for this opportunity.
And you guys have a good week. Keep kicking. Thanks for watching, guys. Just remember that this is not legal advice or investment advice or business advice. This is for fun and entertainment purposes only.